Hello everyone, it's the TheCanadianWifier. This video is long overdue. I've been meaning to post it for about a week now, and every day it just gets postponed a little bit by one thing or another, and now there's so much crap to talk about in this intro. I can't say all I wanted to say before, so I'm just going to make it short and sweet for you. Thank you very much for 350 subscribers. Past that milestone now, but still climbing. Thank you very much for that. 20,000 video views, and if you load up one of my videos right now, you will notice that I have 99 videos at the time of recording, which means this is my 100th video that will be posted. I just wanted to say thank you for putting up with 100 videos from my channel. Some of my early stuff was really bad, and I appreciate you sticking around, and now you have what you have here, which I feel is pretty decent content in my opinion. So, getting to what today's video is going to be about, and I mean, obviously there's got to be some content, there's got to be some meat and potatoes to this video. It's not just me sucking up to you guys. I have noticed a ton of people have been requesting, how do you do custom backgrounds on Showdown? Custom battle backgrounds, custom this background, custom that on Showdown, custom, and I figured, you know what, I'll show you all that in this video and just leave links and leave Pastebins and leave this and that so you guys can all do it for yourselves. And yeah, you can enjoy that on Showdown as well. At the time of recording, Showdown's been a little bit buggy lately, but they also just updated, so there's a cool couple new things that got added recently. First off, I know it's like completely novel, but there's a close button on this thing now. Used to, if you click that thing, there was no way to get rid of that, and it's very, I mean, trivial stuff like that, but there's a close button, so thank you very much, Zero, for that. Also, when you load up Showdown itself, it doesn't auto-open you to the lobby, it auto-opens you to this, so you can choose whether you want to go to the lobby, or whether you want to avoid the lobby like a plague, and you could just avoid it completely, go to Gen Next, which is a very cool meta game, you know, kind of hint, next. Anyway, as you can see, Showdown here, very different looking probably than yours. Yours probably looks something like that, and mine looks something like that. You may like it, you may hate it. It's personalized for me, and obviously you could make your own background. These only took me like 4 or 5 hours combined both. I'm not very good at paint, so it'll probably take you a lot less time. Anyway, right now Showdown's acting a little bit buggy, going offline constantly, and I mean, I have about 50,000 things backed up in my folder, so I'm sure I can just throw something on the end of this video for your meat and potatoes. Coming up now is the how to customize Showdown code portion / walkthrough with Pastebin codes portion of the video. And if you look on the screen right now, there should be a skip to the battle, skip to this time, if you just want to skip all the customization crap and just watch the battle that I'm bringing you today for the 100th video. Okay, so the first thing you need to do to get to the editing screen is install the extension, obviously. Left click on the little stylish thing up at the top. It will be right next to Adblock if you have it. If not, it'll be up next to the little favorites thing on Chrome. It's up on the top right. And left click on that and then click edit, and it should open in a new window, and bam. Okay, so our first area of interest here is the body. Body is the big picture here, like the background. Your big background here. That's what the body is. And I'm pretty sure vanilla extension comes with a background URL already in it. So literally all you have to do is create a picture or find a picture or whatever the heck you want as the background on Showdown. And you just drop your image file URL in on that line right there. Click save, and then pop, it will be your background on Pokemon Showdown. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. Now your next area of interest will be the header. The header, and more specifically the main tab bar inner. This up here, as you see as one big picture, is actually divided up into two. There's one picture about that big, goes to about there, and the other picture is about that big. I made it look seamless. It's actually two different pictures. Main tab bar inner is this larger one that extends basically all the way across the damn thing, and the header is just the thing where the Showdown logo goes on. You can just change it to be a URL background and just drop in whatever image you want. Once again, I feel like that does not need to be pasted into you because it's very simple. I mean, you're watching the video right now. You can just copy what you see on the screen. Spaces matter, semicolons matter. Don't forget them. Now coming down here to our next point of interest, we have battle log add and chat log add. They're very self-explanatory if you think about them. Chat log add, the area where you add stuff to the chat log. This little bit right here, the background from about there over to there, it's the background that's surrounding the text box that I'm typing in right now. Battle log add is the text box right here. and they're very self-explanatory if you think about them, and you can just change the background that you see there by dropping in a quick image URL. Likewise, the background for the user list. Here's the user list. The background for that user list is just a simple image URL. Moving right along, you have the actual battle log or chat log, which, as you can see, the actual chat log, wooden background. The actual battle log has a wooden background. Again, very, very self-explanatory. Drop in an image URL, and there you have it. The username, now this is something I will Pastebin for you, because it is a custom change that I have, and I doubt many other people would enjoy it, but I personally think it's awesome. So I'll give you the option. Basically what I did is set all usernames on this website to 1-point font, and if you hover over said username, it changes it to 8-point font. And if you hover over the user bar username, it changes it to 12-point font. That's simply so that if you hover over that username, it doesn't change it to 8 because that it is a user technically. But basically what this does is, if you look in the main chat, everyone has 1 point, and it kind of like makes it like margins all of the messages. I don't know why I'm like motioning with my hand right now, but it margins all of the messages to start from the same spot. And if you wanted to see who said, I heard the XL was better for the 3D feature, it was Volturnus. And there it is. You just hover over the name, makes it big, and that I feel it's a pretty cool feature. Like I said, not probably for everyone, so I'll leave that in a Pastebin down below. Likewise, the battle log H2, that right there is, if you head to the battle log, it is the turn thing. Do you see the little background thing that the turn counter is on? Well, that is the background for that. So if you wanted to make some crazy background, that is the spot where you plug in that image URL. Challenge, that little message box that pops up when someone challenges you, you can change the background once again. I haven't, I just made it a color, but I mean, you, like I said, customization people, you can choose what you want. If you go down a little bit further, you have the PM log. And now the PM log is where the actual private messages are. So if we close this battle, because it's kind of getting on my nerves, and we message a random guy that won't care if he gets messaged, and we just put in a dot, as you can see, there is a Glaceon in the background, and that is my custom PM log background. I don't feel like spamming him to uncover the Glaceon, but trust me, once you have a conversation going, the Glaceon casually gets uncovered, and it's very cool. Likewise, the PM log, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. It's where you, right there, it's where you add stuff to the PM log. That. And now we're coming up to the pièce de résistance, the thing that everyone has been waiting for, the backdrop. So as you can see, the backdrop in the Pokemon Showdown room, PS room, the backdrop after this URL is simply this pattern, and you've all seen this pattern if you've watched one of my videos. I mean, if you go into a battle and you take a look, I mean, there it is. There's the little pattern. It's part of the theme. Simple, quick declaration of backdrop before, and define a height and width, and here you go. You got the URL for anything you want. I mean, right now we're battling in a haunted house area. You load up the Pokemon backgrounds folder that I have. Maybe we want to battle underwater cartoonish, and I just completely reset the server. But it doesn't matter. You just come over here, copy the push, paste it in, and now if we were to go back into Showdown and load up a battle, if it loads, we are now battling underwater. It is that easy, ladies and gentlemen, to change your background. It is that easy. You just choose an image file that you want as the background for your battle. You copy it into, for me it's line 466, for you it will be this block of code, which I will leave in a Pastebin down below. Just copy it in, put in the image URL, and bammo, click save, and you're now battling in that environment. It is that easy. There really isn't that much more that I've messed around with. Like I said, feel free to look over it and customize to your heart's desire. But that is the extent of my Showdown customization, and I've taught you how you can change your Showdown backgrounds and how to make custom Showdown backgrounds. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a lesson. If you have any questions, quite honestly, the 3 things to do: rewatch this video. If you still can't figure out your problem, PM me. And if you still can't figure out your problem, just try things out. The worst thing that can happen, the absolute worst thing that can happen, is you mess up so bad that you have to delete the extension and start again. And that's really not that much of a setback, because you should have everything copy and paste ready anyway. So, like I said, if you have any questions, rewatch the video or PM me. Thank you guys for watching. On to today's battle. Whew. Okay, so on to today's battle. It is featuring my old NU stall team. It wasn't even that old, to be honest. What I ended up doing was replacing the Mandabuds, because I did have an incredible weakness to ice, and ended up replacing it with Mischievous, a second spin blocker. And I honestly really like the synergy with having 2 spin blockers and a bunch of hazards, because you don't really need to worry about keeping your 1 spin blocker alive so much. And on top of that, Golurk and Mischievous are both incredibly good Pokemon in NU right now, so there's no reason not to run both of them on a stall team, in my opinion. But everything else on this team you've already heard of before, and it's very standard. Looking at his team, the only real threat I see is Braviary, and I will get to that later when it comes in to the battle. Predicting leads, I honestly thought he would lead with either the Roselia or the Natu. Natu if it wanted to U-turn, Roselia if he just wanted to set up spikes on turn 1. Dragonair could also be a little bit of an issue if it's the Dragon Dance Rest Talking variant that I run, but the odds of that are slim to none. So he does end up leading off with the Roselia, and I know I can just switch right out into Scolipede because I do have the Sleep Talk, because I am a Rest Talking Scolipede. And I'm just going to get off a layer of spikes, as I guess he predicts me to switch out, thinking that I was just offensive Scolipede and I didn't have Sleep Talk, which is a very fair assumption, because not many Scolipedes carry Sleep Talk. So he's going to go for the Leaf Storm, predicting me to switch out to something, but I end up just staying and getting off a spike. Sleep Talk again as I wake up, and in comes the Natu, so I'm just going to switch out into Golurk. On this turn, I was so tempted to go for Stealth Rock, predicting him to switch out, but I'm like, no, I'll just go for the Shadow Punch. And when I see him switch out, I'm like, oh, I should have just went for Stealth Rock. And then I see Hypno come in, I'm like, oh, it's okay, perfect, yep, great thing, good thing I went for Shadow Punch, because it's going to allow me to get up Stealth Rock. Golurk dies, but because I'm carrying dual spin blockers, I still have another spin blocker. Not that he has a Rapid Spinner anyway, but, you know, the concept, you can see how that works. In comes Braviary. Now, as much as it pains me to say this, Braviary is an incredibly broken Pokemon in NU, for one reason. It's unpredictability. I must have been thinking for about 30 seconds on that turn whether or not I should switch into Zweilous, because if he was sub-bulk up, and he went for the sub as I switched in Alomomola, I lose, just straight up. But if he's banded, and I switch in Zweilous, predicting him to sub-bulk up, and he Brave Birds and kills my Zweilous, I'm going to have a huge amount of trouble with the, what's that thing called? Electros. So, just the sheer unpredictability. If he's banded, I have to switch in Alomomola, or I lose. If he's sub-bulk up, I can't switch in Alomomola, or I lose. Just that in itself should never happen in competitive Pokemon. And basically, at the end of the day, I ended up Toxicking instead of Wishing, which was stupid, so I just sack my Scolipede and move on with my life. In comes Dragonair on the double down as I bring in an Alomomola, and this whole series of plays right now is just horrible on my part. I didn't know what kind of set he was going to be, whether he was going to be more defensive with Marvel Scale, Rest Talk, or whether he's going to be more offensive with Shed Skin and just Rest. And in trying to figure it out, I end up letting him set up a bunch of Dragon Dances and trying to keep my health up at the same time. And absolutely none of this is going to matter in a second, because once he gets up to +2, and I landed Toxic, and I'm just about to give up with all hope, he crits my Alomomola. So I'm like, well, I pretty much lose, right? No. Mischievous is just going to come in here, tank a hit like a boss, crit with the Shadow Ball, get the Spidoof drop, and he only gets the 2-turn Outrage. And he kills himself in Confusion on the very next turn. Mad about hacks? 1-800-CRY-MORE. He's going to bring in an Electros, and I'm going to get my health back up after taking that giant hit as he crits me with a Discharge. Now, knowing that a Discharge crit did 40%, I know that after a Calm Mind I could live a Discharge from 20%, but he goes for Giga Drain anyway. I have no idea why, but it's just an extra turn that I don't have to try to avoid getting paralyzed, and on the last turn that he could possibly get it, He does not, as I set up a sub on him. He ends up coiling this turn, not quite sure why, because he doesn't reveal a physical move the rest of the game, but at this point I'm basically just going to sweep with Calm Mind Mischievous. It's a set that is very underrated in my opinion. It's a sweeper much like Sub-Bulk of Braviary that the opponent just doesn't expect, because the physically defensive taunt set is so much, I don't want to say better, but more common. Just like the bandit set is more common on Braviary, the physically defensive taunt set is much more common on Mischievous. So it catches a lot of people off guard when they see you sub up and you're like, oh, okay, just sub Willow, whatever. And then you start setting up in their face and they realize very quickly that you're turning the game around, much like this Mischievous did. I mean, I pretty much had the game sealed anyway, but it cleaned up that 3-3 into a 3-0 in my favor. Mischievous put in a little bit of work at the end, hence why you see the Haunted House background in the battle, something you guys will be able to do and enhance your own Showdown experience with the help of this video. Just my little thank you to you guys for getting me to 350 subs, 20k video views, and the like. So once again, this has been my 100th video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you back in the very near future, probably tomorrow for video number 101. Take it easy, guys. Later.